All right. Today, we're doing our first part of the Montauk miniseries with Christy Campbell. We basically left off at the Ibis project, and I know that she was taken from Ibis to Montauk. Therefore, we can call it kind of a continuation of those. So, we decided to do this in several parts because Christy seems to have a lot of experiences, and she has a specific period that her Montauk experiences started with. And this, as you already probably know from the intro, will be called Remembering Jacob. So, where do we start with that?
Where do you want to start with that? With the reading,
Yeah.
or what do
Do
you
you
that
remember? Okay,
that's already going to be playing, right?
where I
That
want
part.
to start is you said that you were transported from or taken from the Ibis base
Mhm.
to Montauk. Do you remember how it was done, the trip, and so on?
I remember this white van here. I remember the van was white, and then there was
Mm.
other kids there too. We were all in dog cages. Like the
Okay.
kennel, like the big dog cages, stacked like two,
Yep.
and then put in the back there. And so that's all I recall. We had blankets over our like a dog kennel, I'll say dog that, and so we couldn't see
Okay.
outside, but it was sliding off when they would take the cages out, and then so it was sliding off so I could see their hoodies. That's how I got that image there, is because I seen
All
that
right.
their hoodies
Okay.
and heard them talking, and I could kind of hear like four different voices, and but I just stayed quiet. I know not to talk. Yeah.
Mm. So you remember some of the trip?
Just them opening up the door, and then
Oh,
seeing the
okay.
van from on the ground, because they
All
set
right.
all the cages on the ground, and then they loaded like one of them. They're like teenagers, so it's kind of chaotic. None of them want to do anything, and then you go get it. No, you go get the dolly thing to load them up on. And did you get it? No, go get it. Yeah, so it's that kind of a conversation, like
Okay.
they're
So it
arguing.
wasn't organized at all,
No, they just had to go out there and get us. And
right?
then they're just kind of like go with the flow kind of attitude. They don't
Yep.
prepare for nothing. Just like, did you bring it? No, he's supposed to. What? So it's kind of like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
they wasn't mean kind of in that way, but if um like if you talk or something, then they'd probably tell you to shut up or something like that.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you remember how many kids were on on the van that you were on?
Yeah, there's like six. There's
Six
like
kids.
six of
Okay.
us. Yeah, there's like three girls and three boys
Oh,
on
okay.
that trip.
Was it a long trip?
No, I don't remember the trip at all. I just remember them opening up the door and being there.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yeah. I
And
don't.
how old were you?
Then I was 7.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
All right.
didn't remember the transport from leaving Ibis, so they might have sent me through like the time
Mm.
travel or something like that.
Time
Cause
portal. Or a
yeah,
portal. Yeah.
something like
Just a
that, because
portal.
there was no it was like I just was in the van, so I don't
Oh, I
know how
see.
I got in the van, or maybe they drugged me to get in the van.
Did you
um
feel all right? I mean, did you feel like you
yeah.
wanted to go to the toilet or something, or
No,
you were tired? No? Okay.
no, I was aware. I just know always to just be quiet and just to stay still. I don't
I
move
see.
around or nothing like that. So I already had that awareness of not to of
Mm.
how to act and behave, so I would not get in trouble. So
Oh, I see.
that programming was already installed, in my mind with that. So yeah.
I see. So they probably took the van through a portal to fetch you and then took you back to Camp Hero.
Mm,
So we're talking about Montauk Base at Camp Hero, right?
mm-hmm.
In Long Island, New York.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So, and you said you were 7. Were you aware that you were 7 back then?
Yeah, that's how I looked, like
All
I
right.
look like I
Around
did
7.
this, and so that's how I compared it to this life, but 7 to
Oh, I
that.
see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know the year?
That's never showed to
Okay.
us with what year it is. I never
Mm-hmm.
know the year. at all. I
Okay,
could just tell you what the description of the place looks like. But no year is ever shown to
I
me
see.
like that. So I can tell you what they look like and what I look like and what like George Bush Sr. looked like, and then you can kind of see it's probably like in the 80s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
Okay.
was born in 76, so it's probably me being taken. I don't know. I can't really I don't have that like definite
Right,
how
right,
it
right.
happened.
Yeah, because
So
there
I'm
was a
just
lot
guessing.
of time manipulation as well. They could take you any number of months or years back or forward. So yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think in the interview that I watched with you and Joseph Powell, uh, he guessed that he also said that you were around 6 or 7
Mhm.
when you arrived because he remembered you, which is very important. And
Yes.
he guessed that the time was around 1978, which is
Okay.
2 years after you were born, which is, I mean, which is
Okay.
which is probably possible because they took you, back a couple of years or forward a couple of years
Yeah.
to
Okay.
to to fit their schedule, whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah. To fit
So
that.
we will assume that you arrived around 78, I guess,
Yeah.
just 2 years after you were born and 2 years after I think the whole IBIS project started. So yeah.
Because it's a time loop, so they can stop time and then just
Yep.
go back like this and then also move it forward or backward or sideways, so they can do all
Yes.
kinds of stuff with time. So you
Okay.
really never know. You could say 78, they might say like, which 1978 though are you talking about? Because was this going on, or was this going on, or was this going
Mm,
on? And you're like,
mm.
no, this was going on. So you're like, okay, that 1978. So that's how
Yeah.
come it's so confusing, and that they make it
Yeah.
that
Okay.
way. And then
Sure.
they
Sure.
loop it. They
Yeah.
just keep looping it. So,
Right. 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 Plus if the viewers don't know by now, the whole Montauk base was in a time bubble. So it was
mhm.
basically a reality within a reality, whereas time basically stopped. But as far as I know, they did have a calendar of the outside,
Yeah,
whatever, time they were on. But yeah, but inside the bubble, it was basically the same day for years.
yeah.
It was there was no time flow inside of that bubble.
Yeah, I know that
All
they could
right.
exit out of the time. It's like if there was like in a
Yeah.
this bubble, like you just said, like and then they could exit out of it to go out like in the street together, people, girls, or
Yeah.
however. But it looked different when they did that. I didn't ever go, but I can see through their eyes at different times when they
Mm-hmm.
what it would look like the streets, and it's like back alleyways, like strip club kind of people, that don't really have a home, that won't be missed as much, kind of girls and guys that they would go get. So,
Oh, okay.
mhm.
I see. So all right. So let's maybe loop back to this
Yeah.
later. So once you arrived, what do you remember after that?
Okay, if you want to go on to like the next image, there's like
Oh yeah, okay. So
mhm.
let us then show this images here. Do you see it?
No. So
Okay.
I'll just talk
Should
while you're going though, when the
yeah,
memory
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
they those long carts like you stack stuff up on like at the grocery store, like you're getting a whole bunch of pop and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those things. So they were stacking the cages. It was like two and two, like so, and then we had
Okay.
there was on top too, so it was like all right there, all of us, and they had
Mm-hmm.
Arkeem is Jacob at Montauk. So this whole thing is going to be my experience with Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next one will do Jimmy. So this time I'm talking about Jacob because he was a big part of that whole Montauk
Mm-hmm.
for me. He was always there. Um, so yeah, I'll try to do my best with talking with that. So those are the other characters. I say character, but like we're playing
Yeah.
a game almost with it too. So yeah, this is my aspect. Rayleen is her name, and
Mm-hmm.
um so do we go to that or just kind of go when I first get off the van,
Uh, let's do the van. I'm just yeah,
showing what
just a
I kind of
second.
look like?
Okay, so which one is that?
This one is just the what she looks like when, she's been crying and in the cage and
Okay.
all that, or
Okay.
electroshocked or beaten, however. Yeah.
Right. Where do we
Um, there should be some other ones there of like the elevator, this one right here.
Yeah, this
So
one.
okay,
Okay.
so they were loading us in. So Jacob is our cue. So Jacob was pulling us and pushing the cart in through there. This is like an elevator that you push in there, and
Hmm.
then it goes. We were going down to the basement,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could
Okay.
hear that it was like the door, like I, in the covers was kind of slipping out off too. So I could see like I could see him from there, and
Mm-hmm.
he would stop, and then he would get kind of irritated because it was heavy, or that he was the only one doing it, and then just completely just like left us there too, not in the elevator, but like in the hallway area, just left and like they're just teenage boys, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're there by themselves most of the time. So they fight a lot, argue, like almost brothers. But it's not James Rinke is not there. He's not there all the time. He's like a overseer. So it was mostly just
Okay.
uh Joseph Palace, Jimmy, Jacob is Arkeem, and then Max Spears. And then I keep forgetting his name. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't remember his name every time it goes out. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't
It's
know it.
okay.
Yeah.
Whose name?
Max,
James's?
no, Max
Um,
Spears. I don't remember Max
Max's
Spears' name.
altar's name? Okay.
Yeah, I forget it
Okay.
every time. So I'll just say Max
Mm-hmm.
Spears.
So
Um,
we're assuming that they are all altars, right? You had a different altar named Rayleen there.
yeah.
It's
hmm
not you per se. So yeah,
This
just for
is
the
like
people to.
a clone, like it's a clone
Yeah.
or a body with my consciousness in it, though. So
Right.
it's my consciousness
Yeah.
in any body that they want to make. So
Yeah.
I'm 7 years old here, and then so they are all there as well, but they're older, and in this reality they're all younger than me. So um
Yeah.
so they just move it around.
Yeah. So it's an altar. Then Max Spears also not Max Spears that everybody knows, but he's also his clone with an altar of his
hmm
with another name, right? Same
Yeah.
same for Joseph
hmm
being Jimmy there in at Montauk, and same for our king being Jacob.
Well,
Yes.
it's not the same. I mean, they might have a different experience because I know sometimes they have taken me to places and then put me back, but did the time and mind wipe. So it's not always the same for every time. But this is like a time bubble, so I'm assuming that's how it is for everybody, how they don't leave or nothing. They're just stuck in that bubble. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that that's how it is, but they might have a different perspective too. So who know? I can't speak for them. What they experience, but I know that how I see it was that this wasn't me in that reality. I didn't go live there. They had they had already had my consciousness. They keep
Mm-hmm.
people's consciousness, and then they make bodies. Of what
Right.
so whatever, but I was already they had already made the body in ibis, and then I kept
Mm-hmm.
that same body and consciousness. They just
Okay.
move alters around or time travel up and
Mm-hmm.
down the time, so I get older and younger at ibis as well. So they move time around. So then
Okay.
they rewind time to where I would be 7. They set it and so they can make a whole, like if it's a cake they want to make chocolate chip or whatever, anything they want to make the outside to look like to fit into
Mm-hmm.
that reality, you
Right.
know?
So basically, they activated an altar named Rayleen
hmm
in you and rewound you to the age they wanted to and
Yeah,
sent you to Montauk.
yeah. So say the
Yeah.
clone. So say that I say aspect because the aspect is another person, and then
Mm-hmm.
this aspect has alters in them. So
Okay.
so that's
Right.
how I kind of understand it. And some
Mm-hmm.
people say my alter. but it's so that's why I can't speak with everybody saying that they were there or not, like really there. So I don't know. That gets confusing with that part. But how I
Yep.
understand it is they've made a clone body or several, and then they have
Mm-hmm.
a fractal of my consciousness in
Yep.
this Raylene girl, and that's my consciousness, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yep.
and then they have created Alter. She has been already programmed from Project Ibis to
Yep.
Montauk. So she's
Right.
been traumatized and her mind split many times. And so she
Mm-hmm.
is already aware of what she has to do to survive at this place.
Yep.
Hmm.
So this is the elevator
Hmm.
part. I guess.
Yes.
Do you think this was in the tower building, the
It was like a warehouse, okay, and
the
then
radio
so
tower?
it's
Okay.
like it's like a incline thing too, where they push up on, and then you go inside. It's like
Okay.
a warehouse,
Oh,
you
so
know.
this must have been a battery, one of the batteries. Yeah,
Yeah, and then so then that's in the warehouse part, and then it goes
I
down
see.
underground.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. So which one's next?
So there's like a hallway of what kind of the hallway. Yes, so that's what it
Yeah.
was kind of looking like. He's having to, and now he's pushing. He turned around like to push us because it was too much to pull us, and he just is cussing. And still, this is Jimmy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is Jacob, our
This
Keelan.
is Jacob. Yeah.
Hmm. And then so no one says anything too, so they might be drugged. So
Hmm.
those kids.
You mean
So
you mean the kids?
yeah,
Okay.
so I don't remember. They might have been making some noises,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really. He's only upset because he's the only one doing the work, which
Right.
they make him do that a lot. He's
So
because.
this is the famously dim
Hmm.
one of the famously dim corridors and
Hmm.
tunnels of the Camp Hero base
Yeah, so he's
that
pushing
everybody
us.
everybody describes. Very little light,
Hmm.
um, concrete everywhere, and basically nothing. Not
Hmm.
very high tech at all. Yeah,
No, it's not
yeah,
dirty too, very dirty and
yeah.
lots of water, like rusted pipes
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and it's never ever clean, because
All
this
right.
base is just ran by just them. Is all I ever see. I don't unless people come in there. All that lives there is just very few people, So they put
Mm-hmm.
all of us kids at the very bottom, so they don't
Okay.
have to hear us, nothing like that. They don't want to deal with us, actually. They're just like, more kids, like, great, now we got something else to do, so they're irritated that they gotta mess with us in the first place. So they're kind of like that. They are a generation like that was put with Preston Nichols, Al Bielek, and Stuart Swardlow severely abusing the boys.
Mm-hmm.
They've been, and still at this point too, they still get that. So they, and Max Spears barely participates with the kids. So um with doing anything with the kids, he's always really depressed in his room, so I don't see
Okay.
him very often at all. um
Right. So what happened in this tunnel? Did you
okay.
get pushed into a room?
Yeah, so he's pushing us until we get to, there's like another hallway picture that I showed you that looks like
Mm-hmm.
a basement, like uh um room. So it's like it looks like the basement part of it, this is like the, yeah, so keep on, see if there's more
Yeah.
images.
Okay.
But there's like a basement that you can see, so then it's like it looks like,
I
um
only have one. Okay.
it
This must
looks
be
like,
it, no?
which
Yeah, yeah,
one?
yeah. This must be this one, yeah?
I don't see,
Do you
I
s-
just see the
you don't
one
see
where
it?
they're unloading the car.
Okay, just a second. I think the sharing is not perfect with Zoom, but yeah,
Mm.
you'll see it now. You see
uh
it?
Yeah, so this is inside there should be one more too
Oh, okay.
that is like looks kind of brown, basement like.
I don't think I have it, but
It's
I
okay if
only
you don't.
have another one with just a sec. No, I don't think I have it here for some reason.
Okay. Well,
All
this
right.
is
So anyway,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is out there in the hallway. That's the basement,
Mm-hmm.
like the walkway. And then
Mm-hmm.
see how the rooms, there's someone across from me there. So this is from me looking out. So you're in a like a
Mm-hmm.
room by yourself. There's four dog cages stacked like two and two.
Oh, okay.
And then he just opens up the cages outside in the hallway area, and he says,
Mm-hmm.
he just kind of says, go in there. He tells each one of us to go in which room, and then he tells us to pick the cage, and that's going to be your cage. So you better pick the
Mm.
right one because you're not getting out. You won't have another one. So we got to pick which one we wanted. I heard
Mm-hmm.
that part. I didn't see what they picked unless I looked across, but I really couldn't see much across either because the room how it's situated right there. But you can see out like that because he did close the door, but you also have the cages inside there too. So
Mm-hmm.
I when you first walk in, I picked the bottom left. That's where I stayed. I wanted to be on the bottom left. And then just because it's in the corner, I like the corner so I can see everything. In the bottom
Mm-hmm.
so you can get out and in easily and all that too. So yeah, I picked the bottom left, and there
Mm-hmm.
there was a toilet in the room too on this side of the thing over here. So
Okay.
just a toilet and no mirror, no nothing like that because they didn't want us to break it and do anything with that. So it's just a toilet. Um, so yeah, so that's
Okay.
the inside, and then he put us in there. Each one of us had our own thing. We didn't have anybody else in the room with
Mm-hmm.
us. So and then he closed the door and then left, and then I felt better after he left actually, because he has a lot of intense energy, and so agitated, just like
Jacob, right?
like hurry
The
up, hurry up, hurry up, I ain't got
right.
all day, like he's like he got us maggots, hurry up, maggots, I ain't got all day, and he had like a baton and he would hit the side of the
Mm-hmm.
door, like get up, he just had zero patience with us. And so
I see.
you if you didn't know to not talk, then you learned really fast not to talk. So,
Right.
so yeah, so then he left, slammed the door, and then I felt better. I didn't see any of those kids' faces. I don't. They're fuzzy. When I look at the kid, I just know
Mm-hmm.
it's like three boys and three girls in the whole thing, and me included.
Right.
So I just know that part, and so I don't know. That's blanked out for me. Um,
Okay.
I don't know. I can place people there, but I just talk about myself because they don't remember, so I don't include them. If you're not gonna say you remember me, then I'm not gonna say all this stuff, and then you say I don't remember, so sorry. I'm not gonna go to that.
Yes.
So
Okay.
anyway, I'm just
Yeah,
sharing my
so
own
okay, I
perspective.
found the yeah, I found the I think I found the pictures here.
It's kind of that's a different time out there.
Different time. All
So
right.
that's when they gave
Okay.
us our own jail cell. Like they
Oh yeah.
moved us when we got
Okay.
older.
That's
Yeah, if
different
you
then.
that's the cages there. Yeah, that's kind of what there it is, this one. So
Okay,
he's
this is
wheeled
the
us
one.
and
Yeah.
we're stopped there in the middle, and then
Mm-hmm.
he tells go there, so I'm like on that far left there too. So I like to
Yeah,
be
okay.
I always like to be at the very back and at the in the against the so I can see everything.
Oh,
So
okay.
I always feel more comfortable like that
So
too. So
yours was in the center then?
no, it's the
In
far
the
left. The
far
far
left.
left
Okay.
there,
Far
and then
left.
go
Okay.
in, and then my cage is the far left too. So
Oh wow.
yeah, what I wanted. And
So
then
it's
so
a double cell basically, a cell and a cage.
yes,
Wow.
yes, they put
Okay.
all four cages was already in those rooms, so
So
that's
that
what they're
was the
used for.
first your first impression of the place, Camp
Uh-huh.
Hero.
Yeah, and then they
Okay.
slammed the door and turned out the lights, and then I didn't I just hear talking, and then the talking fades, and then I know we're by ourselves. But
Yeah.
no kid, we don't, maybe they were drugged or whatever, but nobody talks. I don't ask
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I don't care to talk to nobody because I know not to trust no one. I don't
Okay.
trust no one at all ever. So yeah, that's I never say, is anyone there? Who's here? Where are
Uh,
we at? Yeah.
do you know how deep down this was? Which level?
I like I don't remember counting, but it's like it felt like we was in there for a while because you could hear it because it's an old kind of warehouse elevator, and it kind of made
Mm-hmm.
this that noise going
Mm-hmm.
down like that. So it was a while. I
Okay.
bet it's probably
So several
at least
levels at
eight,
least.
at least
Oh,
eight
okay.
floors
Wow.
down, and then it like stop,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then you open up I heard the opening up and then opening up, just like a warehouse elevator would be.
I see.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next then?
So what image, and that helps me stay on point with that. So that's like going down into that hallway there where he's
Mm-hmm.
wheeling us there, and so that's we already
That's one
went
of
to
the.
this part.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Rayleen,
Okay.
and that's what
So.
Jacob looks like, and that's
Okay.
another
So
Rayleen. Yeah.
that's Jacob.
This is Jacob, an aspect. This is Jacob. That's he kind of he kind of transforms a little bit there at times. It seems like he might even um maybe he does shift a little bit in how he looks. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it might be a hairstyle or something like that, but he does shift a
Okay.
little bit in how he looks because he gets older and he
I see.
maybe fills out more. So maybe he's kind of like that at first, a little bit smaller, but then
Mm-hmm.
he over the time he gets fills out, because he
I
gets
see.
older.
So he's around. He was around. The boys were around 15, 16 here. Yes,
Yeah,
when you arrived.
he was like 14 or so at first because I was
Mm-hmm.
like 7. So there's like 14, 15, 16, 17. That's
Okay.
about how old they get, about those ages. So they was all about
Mm-hmm.
14, 14,
Okay.
15, you know.
Right.
And he don't care. He just does not care about anything. He cuts, like you see the cut marks, he cuts himself. He feels nothing because he has been with Al Bielek and Preston Nichols
Mm-hmm.
and them and the steward, and they make him do snuff films, and they make him go out and get girls and guys off of the streets and bring them back, and they want them to make snuff films, and they want to see it. They like love to see those, and they have like strap-ons and everything, the men do, and they make them boys do so just grotesque stuff that you can't even imagine, that you don't want to imagine, and they've been through it all. So that's why
Right.
they all of those the boys that were there, um, they they did not feel nothing. You could punch
Mm-hmm.
them in the face and they don't care. They feel nothing, So this is how he is. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's you again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um. Okay. These are the cages.
Mhm.
Is this from Montauk?
Yeah, that's that'll
A,
be
la-
kind of
a
like some
later
later.
later
Uh-huh.
phase.
Yeah, and that's a later thing too.
Okay.
Later.
So where
And
do we? Is this the?
yeah, so this is Jimmy here. He's come in the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling us opens up all the cages and tells us to line up, and he wants us to be like the girl boy, like that lineup. And I asked
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, is that accurate? Because I wrote that out. And so I had initially, so this video is not about Joseph, but this is gonna be, or Jimmy. This is just gonna
Mm-hmm.
be some
Yep.
images that
All right.
happened, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we go next with
So
Jacob then?
what's the next image with that? With if you just scroll
Um,
through them. So
yeah, well we
yeah.
have this warehouse here. Is it a warehouse?
The main
Main
floor.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where we would all have to go when they came to get us. Then they would have us follow them up in the elevator, up the elevator, and then be upstairs
Mm-hmm.
in that main area.
Mm-hmm.
So what's on the screen is still Jimmy having us line up there. So it might be some
Mm-hmm.
lagging in the Zoom, huh? With
Oh,
that.
right, okay. Yeah, every time I try to share, I have to stop and share again. Okay, this is
Oh,
it then. Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, so
this is
this
it.
is like the main area. So
Mm-hmm.
if there were it was kind of like how it's just like a warehouse, just like that. So
Yep.
but the rooms, those at the top, they go back into their room. So and then there's stairs like right there in the middle instead of those,
Mm-hmm.
or there might be those doors, but there's a staircase right there in the middle. So
Okay.
over on this side on the bottom would be like there would be James Rink's office there because he
Mm-hmm.
had an office that he would come there and check on them, and then he would also have another. You want to go outside? Would we be able to, so I can let my cat go
Oh,
outside?
sure.
Yeah, because
Sure,
I
sure,
have
sure.
to. So I need. Should I pause this real fast on my end
Yeah.
too? Okay, I'll be right
I'll
back.
pause it too.
I don't
Yeah.
want her to pee. Is it going?
Yep.
No. Okay, good. Right.
All right.
So
So.
yeah, so this area is like where everybody gathered, so
Mm-hmm.
there was people coming from other bases and stuff. Then it kind of branched off of this way too. So it's kind of like this, but it also moved over here too. So kind of this is
Yeah.
just
So
in one area.
they had offices all around the second level. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is James Ring's office is down there in the bottom right. And he
Mm.
had like a desk, but no bed. He didn't have really a bed in there. He just had his like a desk and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then so upstairs then was gonna be on the far left was Jimmy, and then
Mm-hmm.
Arkeem, so
Okay.
um and then Max Spears after Jimmy. So yeah, so all three guys was upstairs. They wanted to be
So
away from everybody.
right. So do you know their titles or positions there?
Yeah, so
Did they have any?
yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy, he was the one in charge when James Rink wasn't there. So
Okay, so Jimmy was kind of
there's not a
responsible
side
for,
responsible, yeah, to make
yeah.
sure that because they didn't do it whatever they did it if they were forced to do it,
Yep.
cleaning, but they mostly made us kids do the cleaning and any kind of stuff like that, and there was no fixing this or that. That did not
Mm-hmm.
happen, or cleaning
So
up.
so
So mhm.
James was higher than Jacob. I mean, for sure than Jacob and then Jimmy at the time. Yes.
Yeah, James had like a, because he was Preston's favorite, so he got
Mm-hmm.
favors. He
I
he
see.
got he got the responsibility because he wanted it though. He wanted that so he could be out of the place too. I think that's why he
Mm.
kind of wanted that. He wanted that. He likes to be the management too though, so he liked that position because he does like telling people what to do, and kind of may feel he kind of likes to be like the head honcho. So he doesn't care if you make fun of him or nothing like that. He could care less, and he would do stuff like the guys wouldn't listen to him. So one time, he gave Arkeem, who is Jacob, he gave him a list of chores to do. James Rink did, and
Mm-hmm.
so he does not listen. He don't care. And he just wadded him up and threw it on the floor like "F you," And then so James is like sees it, and so he's like, okay. And so he finds out who Arkeem Jimmy is. I mean, I'll say Arkeem sometimes, but I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about Jacob, and I get Jacob and Jimmy confused, but who I'm talking about.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he found out who Jacob's girlfriend was. And then so he made sure that his door was open, and all the guys was walking by, but he made his girlfriend come in his office, and he was messing around with her with his door
Mm.
open so the guys would see. But our Jacob wasn't there that day. So Jimmy saw this and Max saw this, and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my God," and um, so I don't, I don't, I don't think they told him. I don't think they wanted to tell him what was going on, but James told him. James, they all had a meeting and everyone out there, and so James mentions it, like your girlfriend wasn't any good or something like that, right to Jacob. And
Mm-hmm.
then Jacob, like, he did not know, and so he fumed up, so
Okay.
yeah, so um James was like that. He was just kind of arrogant with them, but I guess that's how you had to be, with them, with
Right.
guys. So when you're a teenager and stuff too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
What
how
was
he
he
did.
like? What was James like with the kids?
He never interacted. He's kind of
Oh,
above
he's
everybody
above
with
that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, he never we thought it was barely anything. So he would have the older girl, like it was, Jacob's girlfriend was his age. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then James was their age too, So, he only got the position because Preston favors him, you
Right.
know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about Max Spears, or I mean
Hmm.
Max Spears, quote unquote? We know that he
Yeah.
was
Just
had a
say
different
Max. Yeah.
identity.
Just say
Yeah.
Max Pierce.
So what
Yeah.
what what about his position there? What was his
Hmm.
title? What was he doing?
He was one of the guys too, just like Jimmy and Joseph, and it's Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, and Max, and they was all upstairs. So it's Max, then
Okay.
Jimmy. I mean
Okay.
Max, and then Jacob, and then Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
upstairs on the
I
roll,
see.
and that's it.
So he had an office. That means he was high enough in the
No,
hierarchy.
it's not an office. It's not an office. It's like a desk, a school desk, and then a bed. It's
Mm.
their bedroom. That's their
All
bedroom.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's not a
Hmm.
real manager's office, as you can
Oh no,
imagine. Okay, I
no,
see.
but
That's where they
James
lived,
is.
basically.
Yes, that's their bedroom, and you don't go
Mm-hmm.
in their bedroom ever. No,
I see.
there's no
Okay.
way. Yeah, they know that. They're all three the same with how they've all seen it
Mm-hmm.
and been through. They've been traumatized together. They're trauma bonded, the three of them.
Right. Okay.
And with James too. Um,
Mm.
so that's why there's no respect because they've all seen it. They know what happened to him and seen what happened to him, what Preston would do to James. I mean, the terrible stuff, It was like he was his girlfriend. It was like he was Preston's girlfriend, So
Mm.
he favored James. That's why he kept that position.
I see.
Yes.
All right. So what about your life there in the beginning? What did you do? What do
Yeah,
you
so I
remember?
just observe stuff. That's me observing and kind of remote viewing of what's going on and hearing or seeing through their eyes, or their
Mm.
memories and stuff like that, or just scanning, being able to scan their of what they did. Just it's just because I'm bonded with them because the trauma bonding, we talked about. So it's like you're able to see more information because you've had such an extreme traumatic experience with that person,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we were talking about that. It's not like trauma twin, it's just a trauma bonding that's occurred with
Mm-hmm.
both Jimmy and Jacob. Just them two. I didn't have a trauma bonding experience with Max. He was really depressed a lot and stayed in his room. And he just like stayed in his room and I don't know if he slept or what. He just they all closed their doors, so you don't
Okay.
know. And
Right.
he rarely
So,
came out. I mean, they had to go get him to make him come out. You know.
mhm.
Hmm.
So what about your training then?
So yeah, so okay. Well, I will talk about Jimmy then, because it's part of this part of it. This first part. So, when he's
Mm-hmm.
having us line up like the boy girl, tells
Mm-hmm.
line up, and then he's taking us for training outside. It's like it's raining and dark outside, and then so he goes up and
Mm-hmm.
passes through that area, that main area right there, and
Okay.
Max is just sitting there, just like talking to some girls, so they kind of bring girls there to hang out too,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like a hangout place too, so um then that's okay with every, as long as like Preston or someone doesn't come there, then they'll stand up and kind of figure out what's going on. So see
Mm-hmm.
how he has this like lining up here like this way, and then
Mm-hmm.
you see how the rooms are. So does it say Max and then Jimmy, and then I mean Max, Jacob, and Jimmy up top? What's that say up top
Mm-hmm.
there? Yeah.
Yep.
No. So that's how it is there with the stairs, and then So Jimmy was like the he kind of was the boss, I guess. You know, if James wasn't there, um, and not that they would listen either way, you know, but um, just so they wouldn't get in trouble, all of them, you know, they did the things that was needed. But anyway, so Jimmy has us all going outside, and he asked Max if he wants to go with us. He's like, "You coming?" And then so he said, "Okay." And then so now all the kids that were with Max is outside too. This girls mostly, and then so they're watching because Jimmy's kind of like showing off now too in front of the girls. So he
Mm-hmm.
has us all the kids lay that's like a tire, a bunch of tires, and then there's like a fence, metal fence thing, and then so he has
Mm-hmm.
all of us lay around the fence, and then he has us like chain linked or whatever to each other like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like showing off. He wants to see uh, who will do what first. Like, so he's gonna, I guess it's like a push, like a electrical thing or something like that. So he's turning it fully on. It might be
Mm-hmm.
coming up right there. Yeah, but there's one with that's raining. Is it raining right there?
Yeah, this is the raining one. Yeah,
So yeah, so this one
strapped
is
to a fence. Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah, so like I've already been through all the trauma stuff, so it didn't really um that wasn't I could withstand a lot, you know. So he turned it up all the way, and like he was seeing it first to see who would give up first, and so I outlasted all of them, and I
Mm.
didn't pass out or nothing, but the other ones passed out that was with me, with the all six of us, and so that kind of impressed him that I could outlast that because that was an extreme amount of
Mm.
electrical shock, you know,
Wow.
that and it was raining. So who knows what I've been through with all this stuff. You know, I probably altered out and you know, that's how I probably withstood the trauma is because I altered out and
Okay.
you know, so if you alter out, then that could look like you're above your body, you know, like you're kind of above it watching. So you kind of were outside too. So it might have been, I might have, there's no telling what, like, because I might have even astral projected out of my body, you know, so I
Mm-hmm.
could have done that too because I see above my body, you know, so, but he probably was doing that to traumatize to make an altar, you know, so,
Mm.
but that's just the trauma. He's not doing any kind of programming, then it's just electrical shock. And then so
Okay.
I lost, and then but he unchains everybody, and then we go back, and he puts us all back in the cage, you know, without eating or using the bathroom, nothing. We just go back to our cage. He takes us back down there.
Okay.
So that's like the next day after,
Mm-hmm.
like the first day, you know, and then it's the night. So and then who knows how much time goes by, right? Because we don't see the day outside. It's sometimes the lights are on, sometimes they're off in there in that hallway, but our room is always dark. So my room is
Mm-hmm.
always dark, so I don't, and so it's always the same. I never know what if it's day or night. Um, so and then we can only see outside if we go outside. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's all on that part. So then a few days or so go by, maybe maybe it's time to eat the next day or something. But I know that they brought us food. I know our king brought food. I heard that him coming down there to bring us like food, and I don't know how we got a drink. I don't remember drinking anything. Um, I don't remember giving. There's never any kind of a cup, nothing like that. You know, because that would be way too much to have to bring down there. You know, so all he brought was enough. Like if it was like trays or bowls or something, but it I don't even know. I could. It might even have been dog food. It might have been dog food. But so of course you eat it because that's all there is, you know. So
Yep.
um and you don't really care if you live or die anyway. So who cares? Just eat it and that's fine, whatever. So then you we I eat it, and then he's gonna take us upstairs because now so he takes us upstairs, and um this is like the I'd say the third or fourth day, and because um and then so this okay, I'll rewind. So I remember that there was kind of bunch of them was like more guys from other bases too, because they had all come there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is before they gave us the food. We hadn't ate yet. That's another day. So this is before that. So this is when like Preston, Albielic, and Stuart Swardlow, they're all coming there, and so they want to see the kids that were brought in, and the people from the other bases, the handlers and their girlfriends or whatever, they can all come over there and watch. So this is like a show that's gonna go on, and then so they're gonna be taking us one by one, and so okay, so the guys go down there. I hear talking, and uh, some of them I don't know who they are, um, and they're smoking, and Jimmy smokes. I think they all smoke, really. Um, just cigarettes, and then so they let us all out, tell us to line up, and we're in our white gown, and we haven't eaten or nothing. You got to go to the bathroom in the cage. You don't get it
Mm.
out. You're locked in there. So there's a toilet there, but it's not like you can get out of your cage and go to use the bathroom. Um, you just stay in the cage and you go to the bathroom in the cage. And so they have us line up, and then they're telling us that we're gonna go upstairs, and we're gonna follow the rules and no talking, and I think Jimmy's the one talking with this part of it. So anyway, we go upstairs, and then they tell us to sit down, like sit in this. We're back at that warehouse scene there. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
warehouse scene, that we're sitting there, and then it's like there's the group of people is on those stairs, that you've seen in the warehouse opening part, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all there on the stairs and all around, teenagers and stuff watching, and then um, so everybody's waiting on Al and Preston and Stuart to get there. So we're all kind of just sitting there. The kids, they're sitting on the floor, all of us in a line. And I don't look around and see. We don't talk, nothing. We just sit there. Um, and so when they finally get there, then they all kind of straighten up and stuff too. And then he picks Jacob, and he picks another guy whose name is Danny, and he's one that was in that jail cell with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's also a handler. So these guys is all the same age, so both of them are kind of wild and crazy, kind of like that. Like they kind of have like intense energy. Both of them, they're like crazy, like showing off with each other, kind of battling each other. So they're kind of both the same. So I don't know if you know who Rocco Fowler is. Do you know who that is?
Mm, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's Danny.
That's
So,
Danny O'Brien.
no, not Danny O'Brien. I don't know his last
Uh,
name. Did he say his last name is O'Brien at
I
Montauk?
think so, but I'm not
Okay.
sure.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know the last name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what the last name is. I never hear that ever. So it's only first name,
Mm-hmm.
so both of them they both do the hair different colors sometimes, or cutting, so they both have these same issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so they make Preston picks Jacob and Danny to be the ones that's gonna take each of the kids one by one that just got there, just us six, and we're gonna be in the chair. And you have the
Mm.
picture of like the chair there. Do you have
Right.
that?
Let's
Um,
do it. Yeah.
and then so the chair is facing inward. You just see the back of the chair.
Mm-hmm.
But the two guys is on each side of the chair, and they're trying to they kind of like show off for each other. That's why they always make them do that. They're kind of talking talking to each other and talking to the kid, and then doing
Mm-hmm.
like a big scene. you know, because they know that that's what they want. These guys, they just they're recording this, you know, so they love a good show. So
Mm.
that's all they want is a show. And they want to see the most grotesque stuff happen. The most extreme anything can happen, and so they do it. They have to do it. So there's no um there's no holding back of what they have to do, you know, and they already, I guess, they already know that to do the extreme, you know.
Do you see it? The chair?
Yeah, but there's no
Okay.
portal that time, you know. That's
Mm.
but it's
Just the
turned
chair.
around facing the
Okay.
wall, so it would
Right,
be
right,
if there
right.
was, you know, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And so
So was the portal behind it? So
yeah,
you look at the
they
mirror? Okay.
they would turn the chair. We would face that portal if that was
Mm-hmm.
open, but it didn't. We opened it, you know. It didn't stay
I see.
open. There was no open portal. It was just a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me
So
let me stop here.
so
Okay.
then anyway, so this is extreme, and I guess I'll just go ahead and just say it, whatever, you know, what
Mm-hmm.
happened. So um and it's and I only can say what I experienced, because I was after they finished with me, I was on the floor blacked out for a while, and they had someone else in the
Mm-hmm.
chair. So they sat me in the chair, and then they were both like bickering, revving each other up. They had their shirts off, you know, like they was
Mm-hmm.
gonna fight each other, you know. So they was trying to do that, but they had like baseball bats hitting. They had like,
Okay.
and they had the spikes on it and stuff too, and then they would punch.
Oh wow.
They would do electroshock. They would There was like some kind of a like cutting happened, like just any all the instruments was used on everything, you know, just to see if the kid would scream. I mean, really, they wanted to hear
Wow.
kids screaming. They didn't, but the guys did, you know.
So
um
this was like a torture testing or something. Yeah.
yeah, they wanted they wanted to see how far we could be pushed, you know, to
Mm.
the limit.
Right.
um and I finally, like, they had done everything to me, and then then I guess they had me like lifted up, you know, like this, and then like there was like a punch, or there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and then I was just I just was on the floor when I woke up, so I must have like passed out at some point, you know. But
Mm.
like I was on the floor passed out when I woke up and saw like there was another kid in the chair. So um and
So
I'm sure I
this is
blacked
this
out.
chair, yes? The torture chair?
That's how it looks, but it has the arms on it too. You know, so they can
Mm. Okay.
strap. You're strapped in.
Right.
You're strapped in. Your leg, your
Okay.
ankles, and your arms and your back. You know, you can't move, and so they do whatever. There's needles that gets done, like needles in your fingernails, under your fingernails. You
Mm.
know, so that happens, and then shocking, and then throwing water on you, and then shocking you and punching you. So I say you because I'm like out, I'm like observing it, so I'm not like experiencing that.
Mm.
And so um I'm sure that there was the rape going on too. I probably was blacked out because I can see it happening in my mind, but I don't fully remember the whole scene of that too. So that happened all the time though. So it's like which experience, because I kind of there's so many times with that, you know. Um, but um, so yeah, I remember just waking up on the ground there, and it was like over on this side, and then so they just left me there until I woke up, and then they said go sit back down, you know. So some of the kids though, I think some of the kids maybe died when they were
Mm.
doing that. Um, I think they were trying to um so I'm not sure. I don't know. I just sat there, and I hear it, but I don't look. I don't look at nothing. You know, I'm out of it too, because in my ears and my head, like I can't hear like as good. I hear commotion, but
Mm.
my ears are kind of like ringing from being hit and stuff like that too. And I'm just kind of like out of it in a way too, you know. But um yeah, and then that's all I remember with that. And then the kid does come back right here and sits down. So it might have been another kid that was a little bit like there was six of us, so it might have been another kid down that way. that was that that they probably brought him back, but I'm not sure with that, because I think they just maybe had to regenerate,
Hmm.
So that's what they wanted. They wanted you to die so then they could regenerate you. They wanted to
What do
see
you
that.
what do you think was the purpose of this? I'm sure they enjoyed it sadistically
Yeah,
because
that's it.
they
That's
were
all.
already wired
That's
to
it.
do this.
There's no
They were
reason. It's
Oh, so
just
you think
because
there is no
that.
reason? Okay.
It's just because they love
To
those
torture.
three men. They love to see the extreme violence. They
Right.
love
Okay.
it. It just is
Yeah.
like the best, like eating chocolate to them. Like,
I
oh my
see.
God,
Yes.
this is so exciting. Like
Yeah.
twisted, fucked up mind. Like
Yeah, so
that's
because they were broken so much
yeah. I mean, they
before,
were
so
broken.
they're like reliving it from the other side, basically being the torturer and
Yeah.
not the tortured.
Yeah, they
Hmm.
were also tortured. Yeah,
Yeah,
tortured and
okay.
traumatized.
So
All
there
three
was
of those
no
men.
you don't think there was a purpose of like intimidating you or breaking you down to control or anything. It was just about,
Nope.
their own
They
pleasure.
I was already that before I even
Yeah.
arrived. So there was
Okay.
no needing to try to control because they could easily do that. I would
Mm,
willingly do it so I wouldn't get in trouble. So that was my
I see.
program with that. So it was only a show because they let their girlfriends come and watch too. They
Oh
loved
wow.
that. They loved it. It was like a big event kind of thing.
Wow.
So they made it to be like a big thing. Um,
Yeah.
and then so after the last kid, then the Jacob and Danny was kind of like exhausted and all bloody and stuff like that, like extremely all bloody. Um, and uh, then Jacob just walks off and goes to his room and slams the door. You know, um,
Mm,
and Danny is from a different base. He comes from another base that James
mm,
oversees too. So he comes from a different base. And I didn't include him in a lot of this stuff because he is kind of a secret of what he had with Rayleen, but there was recall of me. I remember him and he remembers me, and we had a he had a comfort relationship with Rayleen,
mm.
and he brought her a teddy bear, and he was real
Right.
sweet. But I'm sure I mean, he has the codes to make me alter out so he can uh, do whatever and then bring me
Oh, I
back
see.
too.
So
So,
he was your handler of sorts
hmm
in that way.
yeah, he was the
So
same as Jacob, same age as
I
Jacob
see.
and Joseph or Jimmy, and so they were all the same age. So they were all brought there around that same time, but they kind of went to different bases. So,
Hmm.
and I don't know how far away that was. I don't know if it was just in the same lot. Or it might have been in that same lot too.
Hmm.
So we never got to go over to that other base. We stayed at our base.
Okay.
So yeah, they didn't bring the kids over from that base. They just brought the handlers over from the other base. Yeah.
Which
So
base is that?
there might have been another base on the site too that they,
Mm.
or it might have been in another location. I don't know
Oh, okay.
where they
Yeah.
came from, but there is another base because James oversees it. He sees both of them.
Mm. Mm.
And
I
then
see.
so there's going to be an event, and so all the steward and them, they're going to come to this side, so all the handlers got to go to this side, and uh, their kids is in the basement locked up. So there's no, they just leave their kids there until it's their turn to have the thing happen.
Mm.
So
I see.
like the
Okay.
next day to be, if they have kids brought in, then that'll be scheduled for that time. And then like Jimmy and Jacob and Max will have to go over to that base. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
So they always like to have Danny and Jacob because they're so dramatic with each other. Like they they like put on a show.
In competition, I see.
Yes. And they would be more the younger in age, than Jimmy. Jimmy is probably like a year older. So they
Okay.
kind of acted.
So I'm sorry. So Jacob's girlfriend, do you remember her? Who was she?
Just a girl, just from off the street kind of
Mm.
person, I guess. She didn't, yeah, she didn't, it wasn't anybody that was there working. The,
Mm.
there was the only two girls that was there that I seen ever that interacted with us was Veronica Bartoloni and Susan Long,
Mm,
and both of
mm-hmm,
them, they was like Susan would take us into another like room or like music room or something like that, but she would have us all
mm.
set on the floor, and then she would do like the patty cake kind of thing, but she was telling us ways to get out of stuff um like a maybe it might have been like a altar she had access to that was doing this too or something like that. She was kind of
Oh,
trying to maybe decode or something like that. She was doing things. So in her words, she was like um undoing a spell or something like that, you know.
oh,
So
okay.
she was helping us. And then Veronica, I forget their names, but she was more like a guard. Um, later on, I seen her, you know, like guarding
Mm.
the rooms and stuff, and she did make us like go out and do exercises and stuff to kind of
Oh, okay.
get us out of the cell. That's all, you know. And she's
Mm,
like a kind of drill sergeant, strict with us, because she's just trying to make us strong, tough like her, you know, because she's already been through it. So but she wasn't like, she didn't hurt or hit or nothing in that way. She just like a strict teacher. So,
like an instructor. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Do you remember any of the higher up leaders that we just mentioned? Al Bielek, Preston, did you see them at that time? I mean, in the beginning?
Yeah, they was there for the beating.
Oh, they were there during the. I'm sorry, I missed that. So during the torture, the initial torture, they
Mm-hmm.
were there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's what we were all
they
waiting
had
on.
fun with it.
Yeah, that's what we was waiting on is them to get
Oh,
there.
I
We were
see.
waiting for
Okay.
them because it was like all they was coming all three of them together, so they kind of traveled
Mm.
all three of them together, and then so they got there, and then the show starts. You know, let's
Oh,
begin. So they was all happy that they let the
wow.
show begin.
So you mean Preston, Al Bielek, and Stuart
Swordlow. Yep,
Swerdlow.
yep.
Okay.
And this
All
is
right.
call it clone aspects, call it piece of the consciousness, whatever you want. It's
Yeah,
them.
but they were there.
Yep, yep.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Good and
So
bad,
there.
you know, like whatever. But that because that's happened to all of us, and so people say no,
Mm,
he's not bad, blah blah blah, whatever, you know. So yeah, he was in this memory, and many people recall him, and he's not this way. That's another uh clone or alter or something like that, and
mm,
this is too. So it's separate. These are separate, you know. We're not all just one straight line person, you know.
yep. Okay. Right. So is this all about the Jacobs part,
Oh no.
the initial
Uh-uh.
memories? No?
Okay, so it goes on, I know, forever, because with this, so I know we've been on an hour already. I know. So okay,
It's
so
fine. No, no, I
so
mean it's
yeah,
fine with me.
to
Yeah.
complete it, yeah, because I want to complete that part of it. So
Mm-hmm.
like the next day or so, then so after this whole thing was finished, then they had us go back. They probably let us go to the bathroom. Then I don't remember every single detail of that, but then we're back in the cage down there, and then the next day, then they bring us like some food, the dog food thing, and this was
Mm,
like Jacob coming down there to bring us the dog food so this is what happened after the beating and all of that. Um, and then so he lets us come out. Um, and I think that's when. So there's several times where he comes down there, and then another time he would come down there and take us to the cafeteria to eat. So it wasn't always
mm,
bringing food down there. So maybe
mm,
that was another time, like a snack or something like that too, because there was more times to eat, or I'm not sure what that. But I know there was sometimes he bringing the food down there and like dog food, but then there's sometimes where he would take us up to the cafeteria, you know, to
mm-hmm,
and so I'll tell you about the time where he took us to the cafeteria. So he came down there and got us out of the cages. And there's six of us, so I know none of us they were still all there. They probably just put us in their regeneration tank if we die, you know?
mm-hmm.
And then so we go upstairs and into the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, I have a picture of that too, if you
Yeah.
wanted to show
Yeah.
what that looks like. And it's like a school
Yeah.
cafeteria.
It's just a simple
Yeah.
cafeteria, like
Mhm.
it's probably the same everywhere in the world.
Yeah, yes.
Just like,
So he says, "Now sit down," you know. So he takes us to the bathroom and lets us go to the bathroom, and then
yeah.
we come out, and you know you got to be fast with Jacob. You can't keep him waiting. He has zero
Mm,
patience, you know. Like you better go and come right out. There's no messing around, whatever, you know. And if you have to go number two, then you're gonna get in trouble because you made him wait, you know. So you better hurry up and whatever you got to do. So so he takes us to the cafeteria and says, "Sit down and do not get up," you know, to all of us. And then he goes into the kitchen area to that. There's like a back area back there,
mm,
where the cooks are, and
mm-hmm,
it's like they were speaking Spanish or something like that. And I don't know what happened, but he was talking to him, and then they was all. I hear them all laughing because I'm looking at it. I'm sitting looking at that way, and then
mm-hmm,
and then I hear they're laughing, and then all of a sudden, I just see like a pan fly across the room, like fly in there, you know. So he like threw the food or the pan of food or a pan or whatever, but the pan flew by, and then the laughing stopped, and then they was like scared, you know. There's like I think two or three Mexican women, you know, like that, because
mm.
I remember Spanish being spoken too. So, and they
Okay.
were like probably like 30s or something like that. So they were like the cooks. Um, so they didn't interact with us or nothing like that. The cooks did.
What was the food?
Um um I don't even remember what the food was
Okay.
all the time. It was something better than dog food. I know it wasn't dog food, so it was
Mm,
probably something like might have been soup, something might have been something with soup. Because I think,
mm-hmm.
but they were told what to cook, so they had to cook
Right.
certain things.
Okay.
They couldn't cook anything, nothing fancy or anything like that. It had to be certain things, I think. Um, so they had to cook that, and then I think it was soup because I seen that big pot, you know, like in my mind I see a big pot and then them dishing it out, so it's some sort
Mm,
of that. And so that's we eat that, and then so Arkeem, he's mad because they laughed at him or something. They something sets him off, you know. And then he throws the pan, and then he leaves. He goes out that door and comes straight down this way, and we're sitting over there on the side on this far left, facing that way. And then so
mm,
he just leaves. He goes to his room. um, and then so we eat, and because he brings us our food, and then so no, he didn't bring us our food because he left. So the cafeteria ladies brought us our food. Um, and then sometimes we got up and got to go get it too, but we couldn't talk or nothing, you know. So yeah, they brought it to us, and because I think usually he would have brought it to us. You know, he brings it to us, but he didn't that time. And then he walks to his room, and then he forgets all about us. Like we sat there for like 2 or 3 hours. We're there, and we don't get up or move or nothing. And they've already cleaned the whole kitchen. They wonder if he's gonna come back. You know, and then
mm,
so one of them goes to get him, and you know, like wake him up from his nap, like that's what he went to take a nap or something, or whatever. He just went to his room, and then he comes back, and he looked like he had taken a nap or something like that. Like he's in a different mood now, and he's like, "Sorry, you know, I fell asleep or whatever." Like he says that, and he could care less what we say. You know, we don't say nothing, so you don't respond. He just says that. And then, because they're leaving for the day, the ladies are, so they have to close off everything, so that's why they went to go get him, and then he takes us back to the cage, you know. So um and then there's another time with Jacob that he is like sitting out in the open area, and there's like a chair or recliner or something that is someplace like off to the
mm,
side, and it's like a TV there or something like that too. So it's like in a kitchen and stuff. So he makes us cook his food, and then just us six kids, and then we gotta bring him his food. And so one time and it's like walking on eggshells with him. You know, we got to be really just, you can't mess up or say nothing. You can't slam it down. You can't do nothing. It has to be perfect how he wants it and everything like that. So one time, like the straw dropped on the floor, and then he
Mm.
flips out. He just fucking loses his mind. He's like, wow, all the food up in the air, and then he's like, uh, just going crazy, loses his mind. And then, because we're all chained together, like a chain gang kind of thing, all of us,
Mm.
we just like duck. We like cover our head and duck, take cover. Because we don't know what will happen, because he throws everything. He just is like, he loses his mind, anything will set him off. So you have to be, everything has to be real calm and just like a mouse with him, you know. You have to be like that. And so he that's that time. And then he's like, clean it up, so we had to clean it up. And he goes in, he leaves and goes to his room, slams the door, so he'll do that all the time. Goes to this room, and then we have to clean it all up, everything. And he don't care. He don't come back and look or nothing like that and see if we cleaned up. I think he just left us there though, because
Mm.
I don't remember what happened with us. I'm sure someone else came and probably Jimmy came and took us back downstairs. So I would see, like, in Jacob's mind, I would see things that he could do, his abilities and stuff. And I would see like places that he would go to release all his uh stress and anger,
Mm-hmm.
rage. And he would just go to like a empty warehouse room and just like, like, and then all the windows broke out, so
Mm.
he would just do that to release all this anxiety and anger and rage and all of that. He would do that a lot, um because he couldn't really, um I don't know, he didn't go anywhere. He would take it out on us at times, because he remembers me there too, of course. He remembers opening up a portal and then putting me inside of it, and I was like in a Antarctica place or frozen. Like, he just left me
Mm.
there, and I guess I figured out how to get back, or I just died and then they just went and got me or something like that. I was
Mm.
naked, and then they just put me, like I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. And then they did that. So then they would also have times that they would train, like, to like put us at that investigation table kind of thing, and do different exercises and stuff too, with opening up the portal with our mind. There would be the training with that to learn how to open up the portal, and then projecting our consciousness and to
Mm.
manipulate the scene, or going into the scene. So we could do several things where we could, and it would be one at a time. They would have us do those things. And I guess that they would have other people watching and stuff like that too, like behind the wall or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
In the
Jimmy,
observation room. Mm-hmm.
uh-huh, but Jimmy was in charge of doing these exercises. And because
Okay.
uh, he is really like, I guess I want to say sadistic with stuff, like, so, I don't know, he's so, just has to be a straight
Stringent.
line. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has to be a straight line. You can't mess it up. You have to go on that
Right.
exact dot. You know, if
Yeah.
you go over, then he's going to lose his mind too, and you just get beat. So you
Mm.
get beat for messing up. So you learn really fast to not mess up, and that's how it is. All of these programs, you can't mess up. So you have to learn that, to be perfectionist with everything. Everything. And when you're in front of, and you have to be able to do it too. You have to be able to, and they push you, so you do it, because it's like an adrenaline rush, and then your abilities kick on.
Mm.
So he has me open like a portal on the wall, and then just doing different things, like at first, just to see. He's like testing our range of what we can do, at
Mm-hmm.
different times and stuff like that. So there was no other kid in there, so it's just me, and then he was just having me do that with the portal thing at first.
So
And then,
this portal opening that you're talking about was
mhm,
not through the Montauk chair, was
no,
just
this is
you
just
and the wall.
This is like
Yes.
practicing the ability of what we could
Right.
do
Mm.
outside the chair, because the chair
Right.
enhanced your ability already
Mm-hmm.
that you already
Okay.
had. You know
Yeah.
that you already have these abilities. The chair just amplifies you, like ET
Mm-hmm.
amplification. You know,
Yep.
so you're gonna if you already can do these things, then that's what they're gonna have you go do. They're kind of mapping it out what you're gonna go do and all these. So they're figuring out all their schedule of stuff and
Mm-hmm.
that way, and all I know is what I'm told to do, and then that's what I do. So so
Okay.
yeah, so that's really and that's really all with Jacob. um
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there anything else with him later, but he kind of fades out after they pair me up with Jimmy. He kind of
Mm-hmm.
fades out and has his own thing going on too. As he gets older too as well, then they're trauma bonding him with someone and all that. They mess up our minds so much and give us a like paired me and Jimmy up, and so they mess with that too. So that'll be the next episode that we
I
do
see.
together.
So Jacob was basically the handler for the kids, the one who
Most of the
was
time. Hmm.
kind of overseeing kids, didn't really want to do it. It
No.
was his job. He was kind of a second or a third in command or a
Yeah.
fourth in command after all of these people, James, Jimmy,
Hmm.
under all under
Jimmy.
Preston and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was kind of vying for a higher position, I guess, but wasn't getting it
He
at
did
this
not
time.
care. He did
And
not want that high position
he
at
did not
all.
care. Okay.
No, he did
Okay.
not even. He could. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like that
Right.
type of. I don't.
Okay.
He will.
Okay.
He will. He would ruin the whole scene just so he wouldn't make it. You know. He does not
Okay.
care. He does not care about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no attachment. If James did that to his girlfriend, he got mad at his girlfriend too, and
Mm.
just dumped her. Whatever, who cares? He just got another one.
Right.
But he knew he couldn't lash out at James because he was under Preston's like little
Mm.
boyfriend.
Wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he couldn't get
Right.
mad. He just like lost it and would go out and boom, blow up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's like pyro, like not pyro with fire, but like with his like it could just blow up the whole
Telekinesis.
window. Yeah, like
Mm.
blow up.
Yeah.
Everything can blow up. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right
So
then.
that's all I think, and then
Yeah.
they can read the thing from my books. You may show my books that I've written too,
Sure.
so I have that as well. So my Electra books, I'll turn off this light here so you won't reflect. So I have 4 books that I wrote, and they're all on Amazon under my name, Christy Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I wrote is they're all Electras. The like my higher self is Electra, and so this is
Mm-hmm.
the first one, a Warrior's Ledger, the first one, and then the second one is my lab. I mean, Montauk, the
Mm.
Montauk one. And
Yeah.
this has all those pictures I just talked about and showed on the screen. All this, those
Mm-hmm.
cafeteria in that scene, and then some of the kids and stuff that what they wanted to see, their psionic
Mm-hmm.
abilities, and the guys they wanted to see all you could do, and then the cages, and then the van, and all of that. So that's all in this
Mm.
Montauk book. If you wanted that, and then also my lab book, and so this is going to be more of um, George Bush Senior, a 20 and back. I'm talking about my 20 and back within the SSP and all my experiences, like more within the brothels with Hillary Clinton, with shapeshifting into a werewolf, and then I wrote number 4 here is the 200-page
Mm.
book. I put all of those experiences in here plus some. So you're going to get
Mm.
more of details of the experience and no pictures in this. It's 200 pages. So all 4 of those is on Amazon.
Mm.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Well, I'm burning up now.
How are you?
I
All right,
get
let's
I get
let
hot because I've been like intense memory of stuff. So
mm-hmm.
yeah. So do you want to end it there? And did you already? I wondered if you'd already put the intro, or what do you want to do with that, with the reading of that I sent you, with that's in my book of Jacob.
um yeah, stop the recording here.
Okay, I will stop it then. Okay, thank you
Yeah.
all.